All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. This is the weekly recap of the trading week, previewing the next week as well. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. Thanks for following us. Thanks for watching our channel. This is on the YouTube channel. This one is recorded. We usually do a live morning note every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every day the market is open. So again, if you haven't joined us for those, make sure to turn on notifications and subscribe to our channel. Really do appreciate the support as always. Let's go ahead and get into it. I think the first thing we should do is go ahead and actually start with the week. So here we go. This is Koifin, and this is free. This is something that I recommend for everyone to use if you're someone that likes to watch the market, read some news, kind of be into everything, knowing what's happening. Koifin is free for everybody. It's an app. They do have a paid version, but the free one is pretty good. So again, if you're someone that does like to have the charts available, maybe you don't use TradingView and you like to see the news and stuff like that, you just press the little globe icon. You got everything right here in front of you. It looks like a Bloomberg terminal if you set it up that way. So the way I see it, this is kind of the free Bloomberg terminal without, all the bells and whistles either. But again, some really good information to have. So again, koifin.com. So what we have here is the 4 major indexes in the past 5 days. So let's go over them rather quickly. NASDAQ up 0.65% in the past 5 days. Again, we're going to do a week because Tuesday the market was closed. As you can see, it was skipped. That was July 4th holiday. S&P 500 up 0.05% in the past 5 days. Was it the small caps? Russell down 0.9%, almost 1%. And the Dow is down 1.14% for the past 5 days. And again, that's really with that fall that we had towards the end of the session. So again, pretty much flat. If you consider even Friday was a big push higher, 2 Fridays now. So let's go ahead and go over this past week or the past couple of days. We'll just do it in the sense of around 3 weeks. And you can see really after we had the rollover of the contract, we tested the support here around 43.68 on S&P 500 futures. This was the low back in June 27th. We bounced again, hit new highs, 44.98 in the cycle, which was on the 2nd of July. Chopped around, pulled back, bounced, chopped around, fell. That was Thursday. Bounced off this 44.25 support. Again, we talked about that possible inverse head and shoulders setup. It is looking like it's setting up for the 1 hour. We tested that shoulder line or that neckline, excuse me, and then see if we bounce again, 44.26. So it's just back and forth on that. So, we're going to have to see what we get moving forward. We do know the first 2 weeks of July tend to be very strong. We got earnings coming up very, very soon. We're going to go over all of that together. So let's go over the Discord. Again, if you haven't joined our Discord, we do have a free market blog. Feel free to join us on our website. Link is in the description box on our YouTube channel, www.gar.capital. And you can see here on the live market blog all the information that we post. Would love to have you on board. And if you do like the service, you can go ahead and join from there, which is the unlock/upgrade button. Just click that and type in that you want to upgrade to what plan, and we'll go ahead and take it from there. And again, if you have any questions about upgrading or issues with the Discord itself or your subscription or your service, make sure to hit the tickets button. You go ahead and create a ticket, a trouble ticket on your page, and then we'll go ahead and get you straight through customer service. They'll be more than happy to help you in any way they can. And of course, guys, my DMs are always open. This is me, Carlos, CEO, GAR Capital. That's my name on there. Again, feel free to DM me. I don't know why it's not showing, but who cares? But yes, that is me, CEO, GAR Capital, CEO, Carlos G. And again, any DMs, more than happy to answer your questions. And again, if you have any more questions and you don't feel like getting on Discord, just type it away on the YouTube channel comment section. Again, I will answer the question for you. So that's where we are. Let's go ahead and go over the week. Here we go. Here's the week for options. 5 out of 9, not the best. And again, I think these weeks are the most important weeks to do the recap because it's easy to do these videos when we're killing it, when everything is working fine, everything goes according to plan. We've had plenty of great weeks that we have reported here. This one was not one of the better weeks, but we just have to play the cards as we got. So we hit Mara of the 15 calls this week. The runner hit as high as 76%. That hit 35%. And then we hit Mara again, the 16 calls. That hit as high as 95% today. That thing was red this morning, and we caught it, thankfully. Square we took as well as a win. That got as high as 125% same day. Metaverse, same deal, hit as high as 160%. Luckily, I got it for that amount and made up for the other Metaverse trade that I tried to get in terms of the momentum. SPY, again, Thursday just crushed us. JPM, same deal, and Tesla, same deal. Tesla just chopped. So let's go ahead and go over each contract or each chart and see how we did this week. Let's go to Mara, and we'll start with Friday. Let's start with the Friday previous. So again, we're starting right here on Friday. We opened the trade. Let's go ahead and bring that up. A lot easier this way. Okay, so we got in on the July 3rd, the 15 calls. So July 3rd was Monday. So Mara got the nice push. We got the breakout above this yellow line is what we wanted. We got as high as 15, and we caught it. Well done. And then we pulled back down. Chopped around onto Wednesday. Got retested those highs. Broke out pre-market on Tuesday in the money. And then right at the open we fell. Chopped around on Thursday. Killer. And then there goes all our hope, right? But again, luckily we got out on that Monday on that break. Right here is where we got that break, and we took it out the same day. Sorry, I have to go ahead and bring up the Discord again. Again, the 15 calls, 59 cents, 80 cents, 35%. Just wanted to catch it on that break, wanted to be safe. And again, that was on Monday. Broke out here, caught it. Actually, right here is where we caught it. 1561, we were in the money. Well done. Here we go. We'll move on to Mara again. We traded for the 5th of July. As you can see, the 5th of July entry, the 16 calls. So the 5th of July was a Wednesday. Got above this level. That's where we started to playing to the 16 level. Then we pulled back again, chopped around. After hours is when we boosted. Again, can't trade options on after hours. We're looking great. We're going to catch this. And then first thing Thursday morning, we fell with the market. Chopped around. And that's the hard part, is where most people kind of lose hope. If you trade this option and you catch it same day, some people have PDT issues, or it's too quick, they can't get out. Completely normal. And again, if it takes too long and you see a lot of red on your screen, people lose hope. So it's kind of like that delicate balance where I think the sweet spot for everybody would be to hold the trade for a day, and then the next morning, 9 to 9:30, we get a gap up or a gap down, depending if you have puts or calls. I wish that was the case for every trade, but it's not. So we kind of just have to wait until we get what we want, the target that we want. And we did. We got that with Mara. Mara, we hit also the 16 calls, as you can see here. So I have to keep going back and forth. The 16 calls, and we finally got that on Friday. Again, we told everyone to close at 15%, but again, it hit as high as 25%, hit as high as 95%. So difficult to verify when people got out. I can only go by when I got out. I got out at 30 because it was same day. So again, I put 15 there based on the actual screenshot. So let's go ahead and go over some screenshots here just to confirm. Let's go here. Mara. We got the 15 calls, 9:46 in the morning. Got 36%, leave a runner. That was the first one of the week. You can see right there, 36% or so. Then it started pushing to 50%, 61% pushing. And I also got into Tesla 300 calls that day. We're going to look at that trade. We also got into JPM. We hit that target 1563. That was exactly the target on the breakdown. If we go to watches and charts based on the first Mara chart, let's see if I can bring this up. Mara. Let's always go by everything here. So quick update. Mara, I thought I had a quick chart on Mara. Again, nice wedge breakout. We were just targeting 1563. Thank you to Nick for posting that. And we got that. 1563 was right here. That was exactly the point of emphasis on Monday. We got to it right here at 11 o'clock in the morning. and well done. Just have to go straight directly to it. JPM, that was part of the watch list. Beautiful breakout. I mean, you play that every day on that break. Let's go and take a look at that. And JPM had the move on Monday, 147. We had the 148 calls and then chopped around back to that support. That's just absolutely killer. Thursday was a killer of the market. And again, this is where we were, 145.44. We're only about $1, less than $1 away from that point of emphasis, that breakout. And we were looking for that 148 level. They do report earnings this week, I believe, or next week. So again, we're still above that breakout. Again, kind of an inverse head and shoulders. I still think we get a little higher on JPM. I think 150 is the target that you're looking for. I think JPM does push higher. And then going back to the premium signals. So what we're going to do now, and again, I broke down every single trade on the premium signals site in terms of typing it up. And there's also screenshots there. But at the end of the day, guys, you want to go ahead and use this video to kind of supplement looking at what we did right, what we did wrong. So again, we went over JPM. It's still actually above the breakout. We caught Mara. We actually in Mara again. Let's go ahead and go over Tesla. And here is Tesla. Again, the breakout of that trend line. Again, you're trading that every day. That's a really great setup. And then there is exactly where we got in. Got the break above 284.25, thinking we're going to get to at least 300. And all we did was retest 284 and hit the support of 273. So we're about a $10 chop move really all week. This has been your week on Tesla since Monday. Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Even if you shorted, unless you shorted really in the money, Tesla was just gobbling up premiums as it went. And unfortunately, it did hit us. And then SPY. SPY, I also had ES futures. I want to go over the futures as well. 444 tested twice, pulled back, retested again, held that support, hit that 200 1 hour MA. But if you go to the daily chart, all we did was really hold above the 20. So again, we filled the gap here, we filled another gap here. That's it. That's really it on SPY. 2 gaps filled, and you just kind of have to see it. And unfortunately, we got chopped up, and that Thursday move was absolutely killer. It made it up on Friday, and then it pulled back down. That's the nature of the beast sometimes. Tesla, SPY, JPM did not work for us. Meta, we hit, well, I went ahead and sent it out twice. Triple bottom held, broke out, got to 300, really pre-market on Thursday. We were in the money on Thursday. Thursday's all it takes. 1 day is all it took for us to get hurt on Meta. And Meta still has an upward trend, guys. It's not like it's bearish. Look at the daily on Meta. I don't know in what universe this is bearish, but again, we just got chopped up, unfortunately. We were trying to catch the wave, and I still think Meta's going to go to 300. We'll probably get there next week, and that sucks because we had the 290 calls on Meta last week, or the 285 calls, or was it the 290 calls, and it didn't work out for us, but yet we hit it the very next week. We hit it this week, and that trade hit as high as 160%. We had 300 calls, we got in, we got 40%, 300%, 160% profit on the runner. Well, I held it because I wanted to make up for it, and then you could see here, again, full position, 105%, and I got out at 160% here. You can see it, full position, 160. So again, that did help mitigate that last Meta trade. Now again, I can't expect everyone to do the same. Everyone trades their own way. But again, when I go over the P&L, or at least, well, not P&L because I'm not a fund manager for you guys, but at least when it comes to the signals, you kind of have to break it down your way. Again, we are down for this week, but I'm not down because Metaverse, that 160%, mitigated this loss here. So really the only 3 trades that hurt were the Tesla, the SPY, and the, was it Tesla, SPY, and JPM. And unfortunately, JPM, we did get 18%. So Tesla just chopped us. SPY just didn't work, but you know, we're going to have to just work on it and get better at it. Very, very ugly price action on Thursday. Really nuked all premiums. That's pretty much the only regret I had, was thinking that holding that towards into Thursday. We got after July 4th. Wednesday was fine. We actually hit a couple of trades on Wednesday, so it's not like sitting on our hands helps. We got Netflix, we got Metaverse, we got Square, really on that same day, on the 5th, the day after July 4th. We were thinking, yeah, we're pretty solid here. We'll see if we get a little bit of a push towards the end of the week. We do know that the first 2 weeks of July are relatively strong in terms of seasonally speaking. And we went for that Metaverse. I did went for that momentum on Metaverse to get that one more push, see if I can catch 30% before Friday as we were going to push higher, and Metaverse just did not comply. We were pushing higher towards 296, and then we fell towards the end of the session. So very, very ugly price action. Look at the names that were up today: Carvana, Riot, Rivian, Baba, DraftKings, Peloton, Neo. So again, a lot of high betas that were running on Friday into the close or in for the session. In terms of what I have open, I still have some Mara. I have Mara and Square. I went back into it again. I think the setups are great to go. But here, guys, here's my loss porn if you want to see it. JPM 148 calls. You're probably looking to see. It's always $500. Again, I try to stay consistent for the team. I always do $500 risk to keep the barometer for the team so they know that if I'm consistent, they're going to be consistent. JPM did not work out, minus $481. Meta, the 300 calls, the second one I went into with the guys, that didn't work out, 432. And then we got Tesla 300 calls, that didn't work. That's about negative 496. And then, of course, SPY, minus about 568. So again, right around $200 or $2,100 loss. That happens. We've had some really great weeks as well. We're still at profit for the year, very, very up. So again, I'm not too concerned about it because we're going to make up for that. And how do I know that? Because we made up for it on futures. Let's go to futures rather quickly. Futures, ES, we had minus 25. Why? Because we got stopped out on Thursday. Minus 200. I had a wide stop on NASDAQ. Minus 200 on that one. So let's go over the NASDAQ together. And luckily, I made back a lot of it back because I actually held. So we were pushing higher onto Wednesday, looking for that break at 15.4. We were green. And then Thursday was just a liquidity drain. Literally no news, nothing special. If you want to say ADP private payroll was a big deal, fine. But again, it was just a drop. We hit support. You can see, let's see here, that trend line support. Right above the 20-day moving average. Again, that's our trend change. It held above. And you can see it's above that neckline as well, that inverse head and shoulders. I still expect us to go higher into NASDAQ if that trend line holds. And we bounce right near that support, that neckline, and that trend line. So what did we do? We bounced a little higher. We retraced back the gains that we lost on Thursday. So it's just a ping pong back and forth. And then what happens into Friday? We close. Luckily, I got out at that stop plus 100 points on that second position because I did not close. And then you can see here on the 4 futures. And again, I did have a little bit of just wanted to show them that, again, I never closed that initial position because I knew where we were going. That's 332. And then once we got to that 300, I closed. So again, had a little bit of loss, about 100 pips, combined both positions, but that's fine because ES got me near where I needed to go. And then we got out at 44.70. So again, about 15 pips personally lost on that one, but the team made money, which is key. So for the week, ES 20 minus 25, NQ minus 200, and then we made back the ES plus 25. We made NQ 100 on that flip, but the big one was crude. And crude, we did a nice trade. We made about 100 points. I closed it out. It got as high as 182 points. That would have been nice. So crude kind of helped this week, which was nice. I wish I would have held for that 182 points. And again, we got in at 72. Look at that break to 73.69. That's 160 points. Each tick is a cent. So let's see. We are above. And again, I don't mind trading oil. We are rejecting that 100-day moving average. If we break above here, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at 74.67. If we break above that, then definitely we're going to start taking a look at going long again. And we're going to target the 200-day moving average of 77.48. That's about 300 points or 300 ticks. I'm excited for Monday to trade oil. Oil does have a breakout on the hourly. Not yet on the 4-hour, but again, you can see that level, 74.67. If we could break above that, we got a lot of room to play with. Maybe we could start talking about 85 on crude oil. Would be a nice trade. So futures traders, let's keep crude oil in focus. Okay, so we went over the options this week. We went over futures as well. And again, we just got to get better. That's really it. We just have to get better. Again, I still have the Mara calls. I still have square calls for next week. But again, still pretty decent. Mara has been just one of those stocks that we have traded so many times. And we kind of already know the positions. This is all chop, 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 and then soars. And we've been trading this name since $11 a share. And again, this is not bearish. It's just a lot of these little red candles, or not little, big red candles that just kind of kills hope for our team. And I get it, especially if you're new. If you've been with us for a while, you know the drill. But the new guys, again, guys, you gotta be patient with options trades. Don't ever put in more than you are willing to lose. Your position size should be your stop. Whatever that number is, that should be your position size moving forward. Why? Because you have your defined risk. This is the max I can lose, but in terms of how much I can make in return, it's unlimited. So again, if you were selling options, you have a risk, you have a ceiling of how much you can make, the premium, but you have unlimited loss because, well, that stock does soar. You got to sell your stock as well. So you got to be extremely careful selling options. So again, it's just easier for us to buy options. Okay, so we got that taken care of. Let's go ahead and go over Forex Factory. This is the week coming up. We're going to go to next week, apply. And here what we got on Wednesday, we have the CPI. CPI on Wednesday the 12th. That's going to be fun. We also have PPI on the 13th. This is Producer Price Index, Consumer Price Index, Core CPI. We have a 10-year bond auction, unemployment claims, and University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment. So this is the last inflation reading report that we'll have before next week's, or in 2 weeks, FOMC statement. So FOMC is toward the tail end of the month. The week after this is just retail sales. So again, pretty light in terms of news cycle for next week, but I mean the week after, but next week at least we have some inflationary data. The expectation is 0.3% month over month. CPI year over year, it's going to be in the 3 handle is the focus. If we get to the 2 handle, meaning below 3% on inflation, that's where you're going to get the short squeeze. There's a big gamma wall, and gamma meaning a positioning level where the machines are going to ignite for a move somehow, whether buying or selling. It is 4,500 S&P 500 futures. If that does break, you're going to get a lot of short squeezing going on where a lot of people are going to have to close those shorts. And we're already seeing that as well as how people are unwinding their shorts. I got to see exactly, I thought I had that chart. I think I had it on Threads. But I just saw today how everyone is unwinding their shorts. Stock market short sellers that helped fuel this rally are finally giving up. I posted that. And again, you break 4,500 here, guys, you're going to ignite higher because it's just going to be a short squeeze. So 45.50 will be your next target. After that, it'll be 46.25. And my God, guys, that means we're only 200 points away from all-time highs. I know, crazy. But that's where we are in terms of the market, in terms of what's coming up. So again, we want to make sure that we're below 0.3% on a month-over-month basis on CPI. And again, if that comes out to around 0.2% or so, or maybe 0.1, or maybe even 0 flat, year over year, if year over year gets below, hits a 2 handle, meaning below 3%, that's where you're going to get. And inversely, if we have a high print on CPI, you know, we may get a little more selling to the downside. So just be careful coming into CPI because those things can affect the market. We saw that would happen on Thursday. So we're going to be extremely careful on what we get. Remember, the past week we had was a holiday week. The worst. I hate those too sometimes because it really screws with premiums. But we don't have any holidays, at least until Labor Day. So it's all trading all the time, 5 days a week. So that's what we got for the week. Consumer sentiment, I mean, that is important. But again, that's coming up towards Friday. And then the producer price index, which has actually done better than the consumer price index. That's fuel, that's cars, that's gasoline, homes, all that stuff. It doesn't include rents. Rents would be the PCE number, core PCE or the PCE number. So when people say, what is a core CPI? That's excluding food and energy. CPI includes both. And again, year over year rolling, we talked about that. Once we break July, July was the peak of inflation last year. Once we pass July, we're going to start getting to the, 2.8% range next month. We just need to keep things solid. The problem is that the stock market going higher is inflationary. We had we had fuel bounce a little bit. We played crude long, so that may put a little bit of emphasis on the CPI inflationary data report. So again, we're gonna see what happens. We're not gonna predict, and we're gonna take it a step at a time in terms of the news. Let's go ahead and go over our earnings that are coming up. Yes, earnings is coming, earnings season. So we do have a nice calendar that I posted on here on the market blog. I know it's a lot of stuff. I post a lot to give you guys the news. Super important. All right, I gotta scroll. Let's see. Let's see, JPM. At JPM this morning. What a shame. Wow, this is taking forever. How much do I write? Trying to find the earnings reports. Bear with me, guys. I have posted on Instagram too. Threads. Let's see. That was the NFP number. Did I lose this earnings report? How dare I? I even typed the whole thing. Let's see. Next time I could just type in earnings on the search box. My apologies, guys. Sorry, I'm all scrolling. But it is definitely worth it. Come on. Here we go. Finally. Earnings coming soon. Yes. Okay, so this week coming up on Friday. United Health, JPM, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, Citibank, and Citigroup, and State Street. On Thursday, we have Pepsi and Delta Airlines. We're going to watch that as well. Let's go and chart it we're going to chart it next. The week after, which is next week, we have Tesla, we have Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Taiwan Semiconductor, American Express, Schlumberger, Netflix, IBM, Johnson & Johnson, Capital One, Biogen. It's all there. So next week, really the focus in terms of earnings is probably going to be the banks, which is JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citibank, BlackRock, State Street, yada, yada. So we already saw JPM's chart. Let's go ahead and revisit it. JPM breaks above 149.592. I'll be keeping an eye on the 147 level. Citibank on the daily. Still got that downward trend. Need to break out above it. Need to get above 47.05, guys. Maybe we get a little bit of a push into the print, and we could ride that wave of earnings into earnings. But we need to get above 47.06. That's your 20-day moving average. Wells Fargo, very similar to the Citibank setup as well, but at least they're above their 20-day. Don't see any gaps here. Again, you can see if you can break above 43.64. I don't know what the volume will be. So again, more than likely, probably be close to the money where you get the most volume if people are trying to play the earnings report. Those are really the only three I would look at. State Street, BlackRock doesn't have the ton of volume. DAL, this is the Delta Airlines. We've traded this before, if anyone remembers. Looking pretty solid. Let's see if we break above the most recent high of 48.82. And if we do, more than likely the 50 calls will be in play. And why do I say that? Because we go to the weekly. Really, 52 is really the 3-year highs. Get above 48.83, 50. I bet that's going to have the most volume on the board. So we need to break 48.83 for DAL to come hit. But again, they do report earnings, I believe, on Thursday. So we do got some time. So I'm just going to focus on what's in front of us. JPM, we have an alert up. United Health, I love the stock. Never has options at all. Delta does. Wells Fargo does, JPM does, and Citi does. So again, let's kind of keep a focus on those. I'm going to repeat it one more time on the actual alerts. Delta, upside, 48.83. Downside, I would say 46.17. But again, we're going to go with upside because of the first 2 weeks of the July being relatively strong seasonally. And then we are in a bull market too. So that's that. Citibank, get me above 47.06. Again, that's above the 20-day moving average. Let's go to Wells Fargo, get above 43.64. That's the most recent high that we had this week. Then we can start making some decisions. JPM, we tried this already. 145.92, break that. Again, we do have a breakout on the daily. We should get to 148. I think JPM we're probably going to hit this week because we didn't get it this past week. And that's what happened with Meta as well. So that's going to be the focus, is going to be the earnings that are coming up and the banks are coming up. So again, we're going to have some volume. We're going to have some demand coming in because finally we got a new earnings cycle. So that is where we are for the week. So we got earnings coming up. We got CPI coming up, inflation data on Wednesday. We got some trades open. Still July, still summertime. Kind of get the summertime snooze, summertime chop possibly. But we will see how things move forward. And again, I just want to show the seasonality. It's very, very important. And we'll kind of wrap it up for the day. Let's see here. Sorry, the scrolling again. Always takes forever to scroll. So much information. So much information just for you guys. Definitely should join the blog. We'd love to have you on board. First 2 weeks, first half of July is usually strong for stocks. So the 10th, we usually get a little bit of a pop. 11th, one more leg up. The 12th, we pull back. The 13th of July, 13th of July is a Thursday. Thursdays have not been kind. We either get chopped or we pull back. And then the 14th is a Friday, one more leg up. 15th, 16th, and then the 17th going to next week, we should get a little bit of a pull down into the 24th. And then towards the end of the July, we start pushing higher. So again, it is only July 8th. Here's where you are. We still got a little more room to go, maybe about 0.5% more to go. So if we get a 0.5% move on SPX, down 29, we'll call it about 17 points. We'll probably be around 44.25 or so if we get this push higher. And again, guys, all we're going to do is fill this gap, 44.46, in my opinion. That's the gap to fill here on the hourly on S&P 500. Spot index, not futures. So again, I still expect us to fill that gap. We filled the downward gap that we had, which was on Thursday. And we'll see what we get moving forward. Tough week, but again, we're back at it. And now we know exactly what happened, the chop, the short week. There is no excuses. You just have to get better. Excuses don't pay the bills. Excuses don't fix the P&L. You have to be better. You have to adjust to the market. The market is not rigged. The market does not change. You change, you get better. So that's extremely important as a trader. Always keep that in your head, that the market fundamentally does not change. You're going to get ups and downs and lefts and rights. But what are you going to do? What are you going to change? What are you going to research? What are you going to focus on this week to make you better this week? We got earnings. We got inflation. We got some charts showing here that we got some opportunities. Full week. And again, no holidays as well. Going to keep that focus into Monday. I cannot wait personally for Monday because I'm all about, coming back and being resilient and making sure that we move forward, because this is what helps kind of set you up for your trading career in the future, because you're going to have bad days. And sometimes, guys, it just rains. There's no rhyme or reason. You can have all the preparation in the world, but again, a day like Thursday, that's what happens. It just happens that way, and you move on. Thank you guys so much for joining me as well. GAR.capital. That's the website, www.gar.capital. We are on Threads, Instagram Threads, GAR Capital, all one word. It is not verified. I know Instagram, hook me up, please. Twitter, we are verified, GAR Capital. My personal Instagram page is verified, blue check mark, CEO, GAR Capital. Please feel free to DM me any of your questions. Would love to assist you. Give me a follow if you like. Cool. I share some really fun stuff, sports stuff. It is 9:20. Silverstone qualifying is in about 40 minutes. Go Mercedes, go Lewis. I hope that Lewis Hamilton actually gets a win this year. Hasn't had a win lately, but Silverstone is his favorite track. Hopefully Mercedes can get something going. But if you are a big fan of F1, again, Williams had a really great practice session. Alex Albon, he's been a great driver lately. Can't wait. Have a great rest of your weekend, rest of your day. I will see you guys on Monday for the morning note. Thank you guys for all of you who follow on social media. Again, without your support, we don't have a company. So again, thank you again. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers.